From Chris Evans' return as the Human Torch to John Krasinski's fan casting as Mr. Fantastic, Marvel's cameos always have fans buzzing. But when it comes to stealing the spotlight, who did it better? Cameos have the power to deliver surprises for fans and play a crucial role in the MCU. Just like the successful release of Deadpool and Wolverine brought a wave of excitement, featuring several spectacular cameos from the Marvel Multiverse. One of those being Chris Evans, reprising his role of Johnny Storm, also known as the Human Torch, from Fox's Fantastic Four movies. Much like John Krasinski's brief appearance as Mr. Fantastic from Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, these cameos are more than just nods to the cherished characters. They are close to fans' hearts. While most of these cameos have become iconic, and some of them seem out of place, it's just a matter of which cameos lit up the screen more. Is it Chris Evans' cameo, the Human Torch, or John Krasinski's cameo of Mr. Fantastic? Let's compare which one was Marvel's better cameo. But before we burn through the rest of the video, we ask that you please hit the subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. It's one small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thank you. The Human Torch. Is Cap back? No. It's the Human Torch, who flamed on the screen once more. When Deadpool and Wolverine get sent to the Void, they encounter a familiar face, Chris Evans. Deadpool assumes it's Captain America and eagerly waits for him to say his iconic Avengers Assembly line. Instead, Evans drops the fiery flame on and surprises everyone as the iconic Human Torch. Yes, that's right. Evans was back as Human Torch.
There were a lot of rumors that you could come back in the multiverse as another Marvel character you played, Johnny Storm.
God,
did they ever
be
come
great?
to you?
Would
that have intrigued you?
No one's ever come to me about that. I mean, I don't exactly look the same anymore. I was 15, almost 20 years ago. But I really love that character.
Can we expect a return of Chris Evans? After playing famous roles like Steve Rogers, Captain America in the MCU, Evans seemingly excited the superhero role after 2019's Avengers Endgame. So when he popped up in Deadpool and Wolverine, viewers and Deadpool himself assumed he was playing a variant of Captain America. But what happened was hilarious and went down a treat with fans. After all, Deadpool movies are comedies compared to other Marvel movies, especially Doctor Strange 2. People joked about Evans playing the character in the MCU, and to see him rocking the blue bodysuit once again. Despite portraying himself as a hardened veteran of the Void, the torch is quickly countered by Pyro as he extinguishes the flames engulfing his body. Fun fact that in the comics, the Human Torch is supposed to beat Pyro. But the movie is just full of comedic surprises. Pyro beats Torch, absorbing all his fire, disabling him and making him drop on his family jewels unceremoniously. Later on, he's stripped of his skin by Cassandra Nova in one of the most gruesome and abrupt deaths in Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a swift and harsh end to a character that is one of Marvel Comics' most famous. But Evans' role as Johnny Storm was highlight of the film, bridging the gap between his past and present roles in Marvel's vast universe, allowing us to say goodbye to Chris as the Human Torch in some way, I guess. Chris Evans expressed his gratitude to the D&W crew, and especially to Ryan Reynolds for his opportunity to play Johnny Storm, Human Torch, after a 17-year hiatus.
Anytime Ryan calls, I know it's going to be something fun, but this was special. I got to revisit a character that I love, that is really dear to my heart.
Deadpool and Wolverine debuted to a record-breaking $211 million at the domestic box office and has crossed more than $1 billion mark worldwide, including Evans' biggest flaming hot cameo alongside Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Channing Tatum's Gambit, and Blake Lively's Lady Deadpool. But how does Chris Evans' blazing return compare to his iconic shield-bearing role? Captain America and the Human Torch. Chris Evans has proven to be remarkably versatile through his roles ranging from iconic superheroes to diverse characters. Known for his contributions both in and outside of the superhero world, Evans made a compelling case for his acting range by portraying two distinct Marvel characters. Evans is best known for the role of Captain America, a character that defined much of his career. However, his role as a cocky Johnny Storm didn't get much traction.
that would actually be an easier sell to me than coming back as Cap. You know what I mean? Cap is so precious to me, and you know, I almost don't want to disrupt what a beautiful experience that was. But Johnny Storm, I feel like he didn't really get his day. That was before Marvel really found its footing.
As per the comics, both Johnny Storm and Steve Rogers are foundational heroes in their own essence. Despite being heroes, they are also incredibly different. Evans' ability to pull off both the Human Torch and Captain America highlights his versatility and fan appeal. Many fans view him as the definitive Captain America because of the character's prominence in the MCU. While he had a career long before taking the Captain America role, Evans' portrayal as Johnny Storm remains an essential part of his early career. The transition from the playful, rebellious Human Torch to the stoic and noble Captain America demonstrates fans love him regardless. As we know, Captain America passed on his shield to Sam Wilson, the Falcon, symbolizing a new chapter for the character. It made a dignified ending for the character who has been one of the most virtuous and selfless in the entire MCU. On the other hand, Johnny Storm's abrupt exit in Deadpool and Wolverine signals the end of his arc in the MCU.
Any Marvel plans coming up?
No Marvel plans for me. I was very happy to revisit Johnny Storm, and yeah, that's all I got.
While Human Torch rekindled the old flames, did Mr. Fantastic live up to the hype in the Multiverse of Madness? Mr. Fantastic. In 2018, a fan art of Krasinski as Reed Richards in his classic blue suit went viral, igniting even more excitement. Krasinski himself joined in on the fun, responding to the artwork on Twitter and fueling fans' enthusiasm and said, "Keep it coming." The Multiverse of Madness brought back John Krasinski as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and it sparked a significant backlash from fans due to the character's swift exit after only a minute on screen. His character was brutally and easily killed by Wanda Maximoff in the movie, leaving viewers stunned and disappointed. So why were fans disappointed here, but not when Chris Evans was killed in Deadpool and Wolverine? Simple. That was a comedy. And Doctor Strange 2 was completely the opposite. It was more serious, almost a horror movie, to be honest. John Krasinski even joked about his own in The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. He said his primary motive to play Mr. Fantastic was to be a supervillain.
So Jim's the most lovable characters and funny characters in the world. This is so not true. This is garbage.
Well, they're on to me because I played it as a supervillain.
While Marvel's exploration of the multiverse suggests that it isn't just the final chapter for Reed Richards, the film's hasty treatment of his character left many fans disheartened, especially those eager for a Fantastic Four resurgence in the Multiverse Madness. Though it was quite thrilling to see Krasinski in the MCU, his betrayal as Mr. Fantastic didn't leave the lasting impact many had hoped for. It might just be a brief moment of fan service, rather than the start of a new chapter in the MCU. As we weigh the impact of these two major cameos, it leads us to the ultimate conclusion. Who lit up the screen more? And why were their deaths so differently received? Marvel's best cameo. When Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was first announced, great things were expected from it. Out of all the rumored cameos, the Illuminati took the spotlight, with returning actors, plus a new one. While their introduction was meant to cause a greater impact, it ended up falling flat for many viewers. In the context of the multiverse saga, Evans could have reprised either of his Marvel characters in Deadpool and Wolverine. Ultimately, the choice to bring Johnny Storm was the smart one, as it finally brought an end to the character's storyline without risking Captain America's iconic legacy in the MCU. Furthermore, Johnny Storm's hilarious cameo with his flame-on moment provided a sharp contrast to the series' heroic nature of Captain America, cementing Evans' place as one of the MCU's most legendary figures. Fans had mixed reactions to the return of these beloved characters. While Johnny Storm's Deadpool and Wolverine cameo was widely enjoyed, some felt it deserved more screen time, perhaps even a proper fight scene. On the other hand, John Krasinski's debut as Reed Richards in Doctor Strange sparked a considerable debate. While his casting fulfilled the long-held fan dream, not everyone was convinced by his betrayal. Others echoed this sentiment, feeling that while Krasinski's cameo was exciting, it didn't fully showcase whether he was the right fit for the role. Ultimately, the question of who lit the screen more remains subjective. Johnny Storm's unexpected and humorous return brought a sense of fun and nostalgia, while Krasinski's Reed Richards left fans curious and divided about his future in the MCU. Both moments had their impact, but in different ways. Evans' torch with fiery bursts of energy, and Krasinski Richards with quieter, more speculative presence. In a nutshell, Marvel Cinematic Universe gave Chris Evans' fiery return as Johnny Storm, despite his quick and gruesome exit. Meanwhile, John Krasinski's brief cameo as Reed Richards was a fan-casting dream come true, but left fans outrageous. Ultimately, let's just say it. Chris Evans' cameo as Human Torch got a thumbs up from the fans of MCU. But Mr. Fantastic was not so fantastic. May Krasinski's Reed will do a great cameo in one of the Marvel movies again. It's looking unlikely with the new Fantastic Four announced, and Pedro Pascal playing as the next Mr. Fantastic. But hey, anything's possible in the multiverse. So over to you guys. Which cameo do you prefer most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, let us know what movies and characters we should explore next. This video was made by movie fans for movie fans.